In our last video, we have seen how to read the data and filter the data as per the given business scenarios as valid or invalid. Now our exact requirement is to read the landing file daily, but also consider the previous versions of whatever the data was invalid, and also consider that while reading the current day's data. So how do we plan this? Let me explain with a small diagram. Let us consider the scenario for today. So suppose today we received one landing file. This is our landing file, and what we have done till now is we have separated the data into valid and invalid. So this is the valid data and this is the invalid data, or you can say as held data or hold data. Now this is surely going for further processing, but this particular data is not going for processing. That is what we have done till now. I mean, further processing we'll see, but as of now we have done till here. Now let's suppose the scenario of tomorrow. Again tomorrow we are going to receive some daily data, that will be landing data. So while reading that, we also have to consider the previous held data and then collectively find if the particular data is valid now. Obviously the data coming from hold will not be valid, but we have to check for those particular sales if including the today's content. Suppose this was the sale as valid, sale 1 was invalid, that is coming from held. So obviously this record is not valid and it won't be valid anytime. But suppose there is some S1 data in today's record as well. Now collectively, is this valid or not? This we have to consider. So what approach we are going to follow is, along with every day's data, we will also consider the previous held data, and we will put some logic to see the collective information of every particular record and then consider it as valid or invalid. So I hope that makes sense now. So just to keep in mind for now is, don't read just the today's data, that was for when we started to build the project. We have to read every day the latest data and the previous day's hold data, and after that the logic is same. So let's try to build this first. Also, to read the data from specific zones, specific day zones, what approach we will follow is that every day, suppose today is 4th, every day we will read the data for 4th and mark it as valid or invalid in respective zones. Suppose this is the hold or invalid data directory. We will write the data as hold data for 4th and the valid data for 4th. Now next day when date 5 comes, we will read everything considering all the previous data, hold data as well. For every day we will follow this approach, that reading the specific day's data, we will write this data into our HDFS or the output directory with that particular day. So for 5th processing, this will be the hold data for 5th and this will be the valid data for 5th. So we'll keep on maintaining the timestamp or suffix as we have learned earlier how we handle the dates. So suffix we will maintain daily. So as of now, whatever data I am reading is of 4th June and our current day zone suffix is 4th. Ignore the previous one as of now because we are not using it. So first let's do one thing. Let's write these two data as per the date in which this was processed. So let me name it properly. Invalid landing data and valid landing data. I don't want to see this now and I have to write it into particular directories. So let us see how we maintain the timestamp in the directories as we write them down. So valid data will go into valid dot. Again, now for writing, what function we use in Spark is write, and for next line you can anyways mention the options here, but properly maintaining like we have done before, just to avoid the long lines in code. Put a backslash and enter. Now you can see the PyCharm understands that I have to ignore the next line. If you don't mention this and you press enter, this will be a next line for Python. So ignore the next line and mention few options. First of all, how we are going to, what mode we are going to select. So there are multiple modes that you can see in Spark: append, overwrite, etc. So as of now we are testing, so we might need to run the code again and again. So let me mention the mode overwrite, because if I use the mode append, if I run this code again for testing, same data will be processed and it will be appended to the previous data, creating the duplicacies. I don't want that. For now I will use the mode overwrite. And again guys, I have already told you how to read all these values from the config file. So you have the code, just go ahead and play with the code. I have already told you what libraries you have to use. I have already told you how you can fetch the values from config file. So you know the steps. It's better you go and practice. For further videos, as our logics are going to be complex, I don't want to confuse you. So I'm just mentioning all the values as hard codes. So mode is overwrite, and let's see what options we can use. First let's mention a delimiter. Delimiter will be pipe, and let's mention the header as well. Header will be true. So one more thing to notice is, in Python we give it as true. There is no need for any brackets or anything. In Java or Scala or some other language, I think we use with the small t. And output, where we have to do is CSV. And now here we have to write this to the output directory along with the current file timestamp. So let's see. Let's go to our output directory first. This is our output directory where I have created few folders, and these are all blank as of now. This is for valid, blank. This is for enriched. Let's see what these are used for. So first what we are doing, we are writing the valid one. So valid, first of all, let's create a standard output directory, same as we have created that for input. So in our config.ini, this was the output location, input location, and this will be the output location, and be this. And notice guys, I am mentioning this backslash here itself. If you want, you can take it inside the code, that is up to you. But slash has to be there just to make the operating system understand the path from which it has to read. And similar way as we had the input file location, I will have the output location, and same from same path section we will get the output location. So it will be paths but the output location. Now while saving this, how you have to mention is, first will be output location, and this is the valid landing data. So we are going to mention the valid folder. So that is plus valid, and inside valid, how we want to save, let's say I'll give the file name as valid and data, and I will append that with the current file timestamp. So we already have that in our date function. It's hard coded here, but if you uncomment this will take the current file with your operating system time, current day suffix. I'll append that here, current day suffix. And in same way, I will also write the hold data. So that will be invalid data, and same way we have to write it inside the hold. Here we have to mention the directory name as hold, and the file name will be hold data along with the current day suffix. So let's try to run this and see our files getting generated. Okay, we are still seeing the output because I have still mentioned the landing file df. I don't want it. It's fine. Anyways, our write function is worked or not. Let's see. Here you can see inside hold, there is one directory created as hold data for whatever timestamp we provided. Let's see what is inside this. Now for beginners, thing to notice here is you will see output such as these. So this is kind of a messy thing. You might say that what are these 4 files if we just have to write the invalid records. So in Spark or the distributed platforms like Hadoop, the files are read and written until and unless you mention explicitly, the files are read and written as part files, because when the data is being processed on the distributed node, that is read and written in form of mappers and reducers. So specifically in Spark, the output files that you see, there might be one or more files, but the data will be distributed depending upon the reduce task and the partitions. That is, if you go deep into the Spark infrastructure, you will understand this more. In this course, I am focusing mainly on the project side. I am not going into deep of Spark. For that, you can watch my channel on GK Code Labs, and there you will find multiple videos where I have explained the Spark infrastructure in details. So just for now, don't be confused here. Whatever CSV file you are seeing here, because we have written in CSV output, you can see here, there are multiple outputs like JSON, Parquet. So whatever format you write the output here, right now we are writing for CSV, you can see we are getting one .csv file. And this is the file that will be having your required data. And depending upon the data size and the partitions, you might see one or more files similar like this. And the data might be written like, if there are 100 records, there might be 50 records in one file, 50 records in another file. But entirely whatever we have written like this directory, this will have the complete data. So let's see the whole data what we have got. So currently you can see whatever 4 records we were seeing in the output, same records are being written in the whole directory. And let's go back to what is in valid. So valid also has created one new directory with the timestamp, and this also has all the valid columns. You can see there are no nulls in the product ID or the vendor ID. So all are valid.